Just for a moment, put yourself there. It's a feeling of absolute freedom, the kind you only really know when you're young, when the future feels like an open road and summer seems to stretch on forever. You've left the noise and concrete behind. The city is a distant memory, replaced by the scent of pine and damp earth. There's a quiet here that sinks into your bones, a stillness that feels ancient and profound. It feels like you're on the edge of the world. The year is 1960. The place, Finland. The world is slowly stitching itself back together after the war, and a new generation is coming of age. There's a palpable sense of hope in the air, a desire to embrace life. In Finland, early June means one thing: the beginning of the white nights. The sun becomes a shy visitor, dipping below the horizon for only a few hours before rising again. Darkness never truly falls. Instead, the world is bathed in a persistent, dreamlike twilight. It's a magical, disorienting time of year when the normal rules of day and night seem to bend. For city dwellers in Helsinki, this is the signal. It's time to escape. Time to answer the call of the wild, just beyond the city limits. And the perfect escape is just a short ride away. Lake Bodom, nestled in the forests of Espoo, a stone's throw from the capital. It's a popular spot, known for its serene beauty. A place for swimming, fishing, and forgetting the pressures of daily life. For 4 teenagers, it's the ideal destination. A chance to break away, to be on their own, just looking to have a good time. They're not seeking grand adventure, just a simple, perfect weekend. They find their spot on a narrow strip of land, a small cape jutting out into the water at the southern end of the lake. It's secluded, private. The perfect place to pitch a tent and feel like you have the world to yourselves. Let's meet them. They're not just names in a cold case file. They were vibrant, full of life. There's Mila Irmeli Björklund and Anya Tulikki-Maki, both 15. In the photos, you see the hope and innocence of their age. They're on the cusp of adulthood, their lives just beginning. They're dating 2 older boys, both 18. Seppo Antero Boisman, Mela's boyfriend, and Niels Wilhelm Gustafsson, who is there with Anya. They're a typical group of friends. Seppo and Niels are into motorcycles. That's how they got here, the roar of the engines announcing their arrival before fading into the quiet of the woods. It's a symbol of their freedom, of their youth. They spend the evening setting up their small canvas A-frame tent, sharing stories, maybe a few drinks they weren't supposed to have. Just kids being kids, soaking in the strange, beautiful light of a Finnish summer night. The setting is idyllic. The dark, placid water of the lake, the tall, silent pine trees standing guard, and that weird, pale Finnish light that seems to suspend time. Everything about this scene whispers peace. It's supposed to be a sanctuary, but there's a saying about places like this. The deeper the peace, the more shocking the violence that shatters it. That stillness is deceptive. It's a canvas, waiting for something to be painted on it. And tonight, the colors will be brutal. Because as they laugh and settle in for the night, they are not alone. Somewhere in the shadows of the forest, or perhaps even out in the open, someone is watching. We don't know who. A local with a grudge? A stranger passing through? Or something else entirely? All we know is that eyes are on them, observing their joy, their vulnerability. This presence doesn't belong. It's a discordant note in the symphony of the peaceful night. The teenagers, wrapped in the warm blanket of their own small world, are oblivious. They feel secure. They are anything but. As the night deepens into the early hours of the morning, they finally retreat into their tent. An old canvas A-frame with sleeping bags laid out, ready for rest. An owl hoots in the distance. The water laps gently at the shore. It's the sound of tranquility. They zip up the tent, a fragile barrier of thin canvas between them and the world. Imagine that feeling, the cool night air outside, the shared warmth inside, the muffled sounds of the forest. You're drifting off to sleep, surrounded by your friends, feeling completely safe. The last conscious thought is one of peace, and then a total nightmare. It happens sometime between 4 and 6 in the morning, during that eerie twilight when the world is neither dark nor light. The attack is not on the campers, but on the tent itself. The assailant doesn't unzip the flap. They don't try to enter. The violence is external, directed at the fabric that separates the sleeping teenagers from their attacker. It's a frenzied, brutal, and overwhelming assault. The weapons are believed to be a knife and some kind of heavy, blunt object, perhaps a rock from the shoreline. The attacker slashes and stabs through the canvas again and again, and they pound down on the tent, on the sleeping forms inside, with a terrifying rage. Imagine the chaos inside that small space. Waking from a deep sleep, not to a sound, but to a blow. Trapped. You can't see your attacker. You can't properly fight back. The very shelter you trusted has become a trap, a shroud. The thin canvas walls are collapsing in, muffling your screams, tangling your limbs. It's pure, unadulterated terror. Methodical and devastating. The first witnesses aren't police. They're a pair of young boys out birdwatching early in the morning. From a distance, they see something strange. They see the tent collapse. And around 6 a.m., they see a blond man walking away from the scene. They don't think much of it at the time. Campers pack up. People come and go. They have no idea they've just witnessed the epilogue to a massacre. They continue on their way and the silence returns to the peninsula. For hours, the scene remains undisturbed. A collapsed tent in a beautiful, peaceful spot. A tomb hidden in plain sight. It's not until almost 11 a.m., 5 hours after the blond man was seen leaving, that the true horror is discovered. A local man, out for a walk, stumbles upon the scene. It's something straight out of a horror movie. He sees a collapsed tent, blood, and a body lying outside. He realizes something terrible has happened. The quiet morning shatters. The call is made, and soon the unnatural silence of Lake Bodom is broken by the wail of sirens. But the investigation is flawed from the very beginning. The first responders, likely overwhelmed by the horrific scene, fail to properly secure it. Evidence is trampled, contaminated. Crucial footprints are lost forever. To make matters worse, the police make a critical error. They call in off-duty soldiers from a nearby garrison to help with the search. Well-intentioned, but disastrous for the investigation. 100 men combing the woods further destroys any trail the killer might have left. The murder weapons, the knife, the blunt object, are never found. The killer's shoes, which he reportedly hid some 500 meters away, are recovered, along with other clothing, but they offer few clues. The trail goes cold almost before it begins. In the vacuum of evidence, a storm of speculation begins. Suspects, alibis, and rumors swirl around the small community and the nation. There was the kiosk keeper, known for his hostility towards campers, who allegedly confessed on his deathbed. There was a man seen fishing nearby. Even a supposed KGB agent was floated as a suspect. But there was never any proof. No confession held up, no evidence ever connected anyone to the crime. For decades, the case file gathered dust, the mystery deepening with each passing year. Then, in 2004, a shocking twist. The boldest theory of all is put to the test. The sole survivor, Niels Gustafsson, the boy who had been there that night, is arrested and charged with the murders. The prosecution claimed he had a violent outburst in a drunken rage. But after a short trial, he was acquitted of all charges. The theory, like all the others, unraveled. And so, here we are, 60-plus years on, and we still don't know. We don't know who was watching from the trees. We don't know whose hand held the knife. We don't know why. The names of the victims echo through the years. Mila, Anja, Seppo. Their lives were cut short in the most brutal way imaginable, in a place that should have been safe. Lake Bodom has become a part of Finnish folklore, a cautionary tale whispered around campfires. It remains a beautiful place, but it holds a darker silence now. A silence filled with unanswered questions and the ghosts of a perfect summer night that ended in an incomprehensible nightmare.